Hello everyone out there on YouTube, and welcome to episode 10 of my Doctor Who action figure reviews. Now, as you can see, today we are looking at some new series Doctor Who figures, mainly the 11th Doctor as played by the great Matt Smith, my favourite Doctor of the new series. I do like Eccleston, but Matt Smith really stands out to me, and David Tennant, well, let's move on to that another time. Basically, what I'm going to do is, throughout this series, I will look at various Matt Smiths, as Matt Smiths outnumber Tom Baker figures in the Doctor Who line quite alarmingly. So today I decided to go with two variants and a repaint from Series 5, mainly the 11th Hour. So I will begin with the 11th Doctor regeneration figure from the beginning of 11th Hour, and as ever I will start with the articulation. This Doctor has your standard articulation. The head can't really do a 360 as it is hindered by the shirt, but it can go left to right. It's a bit easier to turn on this side. It's got 360 degree movement in the arms. It's got 360 degree at the biceps. The arms can bend, and the wrists can also do a 360, though mine are very, very stiff, as this figure has very rarely been used. The legs can't really go up and down. They're very, very stiff. They're on a T-joint, and they can bend. There is no thigh articulation or ankle articulation, and the torso does twist. So that's your articulation for this figure. The articulation for the other two figures is a little bit different, but I'll get onto that in a little while. I shall now move on to talk about the detail of this 11th Hour 11th Doctor. Now, this Doctor is meant to be from when Matt Smith has just regenerated, well, David Tennant has just regenerated into Matt Smith. The TARDIS is crashing down to Earth, and in the midst of all of the TARDIS exploding, his costume has been teared and become damaged. So it's basically, this figure is basically a 10th Doctor body from the End of Time figures, with a newly sculpted Matt Smith head that becomes standard for the other figures. Now, this is good and bad. I'll point out the obvious thing straight away. The body is basically far too large for this head. The head has just been stuck on, and you might not be able to see very well here, but the neck is thinner than his torso. There is actually a gap from his neck to his body, and it just looks a bit odd. It's kind of bad that they didn't just modify this figure slightly, but to fit the head, although it would have meant an entire resculpt. But the head sculpt, let's have a look at the head sculpt at first. It's a very, very nice likeness of Matt Smith. It's instantly recognisable as him. He's got his eyes are looking straight ahead. It looks very, very good. You've got the cheekbones, the eyebrows. The hair is very nice. It's partially sculpted onto the head, I believe. Yes, the back bit is all sculpted on, and it's got washes of blacks and browns. And this bit for his fringe is combed over, and is actually a separate piece to the rest of the hair, which is very, very nice. And he's got his side parting here. The costume is the 10th Doctor's blue shirt. It's all very nice. It's got tears here and here, and around the back you have a look. There's some more creases and cut and rips to the shirt and on the arm there, and it's all very, very nicely sculpted. The shirt is partially untucked, so it is a rubbery piece of it is a rubbery shirt. This bit is untucked, this bit is a solid piece, and you have the 10th Doctor's tie, which I'm not sure whether he was wearing this tie at the end of the story, but if anyone can tell me, please let me know. The pattern is very, very almost spot on to how the tie is for the 10th Doctor. It's very, very good, and it's loosened at the top here with the knot. The trousers are here the 10th Doctor's pinstripe trousers that he wore. These are the brown with the blue, light blue lines that he was wearing in the End of Time, and he's of course wearing the trainers, or the Converse shoes, and they're very nice. They're the white Converse with the black and red lines, and the shoelaces are sculpted on very, very nicely, and you won't be able to see it on camera, but you can just make out the top bit, the bit of white rubber that's on Converse shoes. And that's basically it for this figure. It's a very, very nice figure. It doesn't come with a 10th ultrasonic screwdriver, unfortunately, as it is from the 11th hour crash set. But it doesn't come with a screwdriver. It would have been good if it did, as when he's wearing this costume he does use that screwdriver for a fair bit until it short fuses and blows up. You can get this along with one of these two figures, either from Toys R Us if you want the blue variant, or from Forbidden Planet. I get mine from Forbidden Planet Hanley, which is where I get all my figures. They're very, very good at getting me what I want, so if you live in Stoke-on-Trent, please go to Forbidden Planet Hanley if you'd like to purchase any of these figures. I will now move on to talk about the standard Series 5 11th Doctor figure, and then I'll talk a little bit about the Toys R Us variant. I'll begin with this variant sonic screwdriver. It's very, very nice. It's a open version of the 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver. As you can see, it looks alright. It's just a little bit of rubber, and it's got the black handle and the white end and the gold tip there, and the green diode with the 4 prongs, and you can tell it is the screwdriver. I just wish they'd also done a version that was closed for the 5-inch range. The 3 3/4 inch range, you've got a small closed screwdriver, but like the figures themselves, this screwdriver is far too small, so you can't really use it with one of these figures, which is a shame. Now I'll just quickly do the articulation for this figure. The articulation for the blue variant is the same as on this figure. It's 360 movement of the arms. As you can see, 360 movement of the biceps. The coat will hinder it if you don't have the arms like that. The arms bend as standard, and his wrists can do a 360, which is all very good. The head can't really move too much. You can move to the sides a little bit, but the collar of the shirt will impede this head from moving 360. His legs can go up and down, they can bend, they've got a T-joint like the other figures, and it's got 360 at the thighs, and there is no ankle articulation. However, that might have been tricky to do with these boots. So that's your articulation. Now, detail wise, I think this is a brilliant figure. They've captured the likeness of Matt Smith in his costume spot on. Accuracy wise, there are a few things that are not correct, however they're only very, very minor things. The head sculpt, if I just compare it to this one, seems thinner than this Matt Smith. However, if you watch closely, I had a look, Matt Smith had a bit more weight on his face, or fat on his face I should say, than when he started to wear his costume. But the face sculpt looks very, very good. It looks better to me personally like this. The hair is again sculpted exactly the same, with the separate piece for his combed over fringe, and the eyes are very, very good, and it's a very, very good likeness. But it's the costume that really excels for this figure. I'll begin with the tweed jacket. Now, I love the tweed jacket look. I think it's a very, very nice look. I've got my own tweed jacket, as I'm sure many other people have. It's sculpted on very, very nicely. It's got a textured effect, very, very close. I just try and bring this closer. You can't see it very well on camera, I do apologise. But it's got a very nice textured effect on it to make it look like it is the tweed from the coat. This is the first tweed jacket coat he wore, as he did have a different one after Time and the Angels and Flesh and Stone. As you can see, it's very, very nice. It's got different washes of brown on it to give it, it's like darker washes and then lighter brown washes put over it, so it highlights the texture of the coat. He's got his dark brown elbow patches and the split seams there. He's got the buttons on the end of his at the end of his sleeves. Even that was the word I was looking for. He's got the pockets sculpted on, which are very, very nice, as they are in the story. He's got the lapels and the collar spot on, and the buttons are the red buttons he had on that tweed jacket, and there's some buttonholes there. The bow tie is a separate piece that clips into the shirt. This is the red bow tie he wore in that story. It's in Series 5. It's very, very nice. The shirt is very, very close to how it is in the series. However, if you look at the costume, it does have weird squiggly lines going down it, and this is missing on this figure. However, it would have been so complicated to do on such a small scale that they've just simplified it and done straight lines going down and across the collar, which I don't mind. It's not too bad. It still looks very nice, and the buttons are sculpted onto the shirt. They're just white, and it's all very, very nice. The trousers are his black trousers. These are very, very nice, as they have got quite a lot of creases sculpted into them, as you can see. This bit's a bit bizarre, as it looks like the leg may bend upwards, or he's got rickets or something. But it's very nice, as you can see. And you've got the trouser details as well. And his boots are the shiny boots that he wears in most of the series, his shiny black turn down boots. They've got the shoelaces sculpted on, and they're just painted in a nice gloss black paint. And that's pretty much it for this figure of the 11th Doctor. Again, very, very nice. It comes paired with the 11th Hour Crash Doctor. But if you go to Toys R Us for the exclusive, you will get your hands on this version of the 11th Doctor. Now, there are not really too many differences. It's exactly the same as this Doctor. However, the only obvious difference is he is wearing the shirt now painted in a blue, and the blue bow tie, and he is wearing his brown boots. This variant is basically more of a Victory of the Daleks variant of Matt Smith, as he wears his blue shirt in that, as well as the blue bow tie and the brown boots. The only thing that doesn't make it from Victory of the Daleks is he should be wearing a different tweed jacket, but they haven't done that. They've just basically released the same figure, and it's alright. It doesn't look too bad. He did wear this tweed jacket with the with this shirt. I believe it was in Flesh and Stone and Time of the Angels again. The paint on the tweed jacket actually looks a little bit better on this figure, maybe slightly lighter. I don't know, but it does look very, very nice. But other than the boots and the shirt, it is basically the same figure. And that is pretty much it for this review. If you want to get any of these figures, you can hunt them down on eBay, or you may be able to find them in your local Forbidden Planet store. Like I found my 11th Hour Crash set standard in Forbidden Planet. I got this particular 11th Doctor in the 11th Doctor set. You can get the red bow tie and shirt in the 11th Doctor set, and the blue also in the 11th Doctor set. So you don't have to just buy the 11th Hour Crash set. But if you want the exclusive, you go to Toys R Us. You might be lucky enough to find one, although they are rare now. You can also get the standard, as I mentioned, or get the 11th Doctor set if you are interested in these figures. I mainly, as I said before, Forbidden Planet. I tend to get all my figures from Forbidden Planet. They're excellent. Mine's Forbidden Planet Hanley. If you're local, go to Forbidden Planet Hanley if you're local, and help support buy the figures, and you'll get more releases. So thank you for watching this review, guys. There are more Matt Smith reviews to come, as I barely touched the surface of the Matt Smith figures. There are more from Series 5 alone to get. There's the shirtless version and the one wearing a fez, and then I will probably in the future do another review of his Series 6 variants, mainly the Stetson, the alternate head, and the Christmas variant will also come. I'll probably review that with the Amy Pond and the TARDIS, which is here. So there will be more Matt Smith reviews. So thank you for watching this review, guys. My next review, I don't know what it will be. It will probably be another classic. I am debating whether to do a John Pertwee figure, as I haven't really touched upon the early 70s or even the 60s yet, or I may decide to do something else completely different, I might decide to go with a monster from any era of Doctor Who to change things up a little bit. So thank you for watching this review, guys, and I shall see you in my next episode, whatever that turns out to be.